Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope that you're doing well today. This is my third day recording from my living room. I know it's a little bit more echoey, but a little bit less traffic. Although today has been very active in the hallway outside my front door. So you might hear people in the background. And also there's been a lot of fireworks. Looks like other people are having birthdays during the time of Virgo. So if you hear a lot of booming sounds in the background, it's fireworks. So in some pretty disturbing news yet again, 1 month after the other two shootings, there's another shooting. One of my listener supporters who lives in Odessa, Texas, he wrote me a couple hours ago and said, "You're not going to believe what happened." The shopping mall where I shop, basically, where he goes with his family, thank God they were home safe. But a shooter who had been stopped for a traffic violation shot 2 police officers, then went into the mall at Odessa, Texas, and proceeded to shoot 21 people, 5 of which are dead. Police arrived on the scene and shot this male he was like around 30 years old, another white man. And I don't know if it was racially involved or just in general shooting people in a shooting rage. So that happened. Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, had this to say about the Texas shooting. He said, "How many more families will lose loved ones? How many more communities will be torn apart? How many more tragedies will it take before leaders, quote unquote leaders, act? The bloodshed must end now. Do something." And ironically, this is a day before the people who run the government of Texas were going to do something. That something meaning making laws to obtain guns even more lax, so that this kind of incident can happen much more often. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. What are they thinking? I'm frankly pretty angry about this. One of the victims was a 17-year-old girl. 17-month-old baby girl, under 2 years old. I mean, this crap has got to stop. I don't know what to do other than, if you're angry, express your anger, let it all out in 5 minutes, and allow, in fact, don't even allow 5 minutes for it. Doesn't really deserve your negative energy, right? Give it 1 or 2 minutes and that's it. Cut it off. Pray for the families. And pray that the leaders change to people who are going to actually be responsible. Or that they realize they just made a damn big mistake and they're going to now reverse it. Laws can be done, laws can be undone, more laws can be created, that's okay. But this is just, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. What's even more, or also disturbing, not, I guess, equally as disturbing, is that there was a shooting today also in Alabama, in Mobile. In Mobile, Alabama, there was a shooting where 10 teenagers were injured. 5 of them are currently in critical condition. at a high school football game. At a football game. Why? I don't understand why this shit keeps happening. You know, I know that this is a metaphysical show, but you know what? Sometimes we got to look at the reality of what the hell is happening and why. So I'm going to look this up. Okay, the shooter in Mobile, Alabama, he was a teenager. And let's see what it says about him. D'Angelo DeJuan Parnell was charged with 9 counts of attempted murder. 17 years old. They don't know the motive for the shooting. It looks like he was African American. I don't know. My guess is as good as yours, but I'm thinking possibly maybe he was bullied. You know, I don't know. I don't know. The chief says that they're bringing beefs that they have with each other in their neighborhoods, putting people in harm's way. I don't know if that's true. You know, who knows what this is. I don't know if this is like a gang related, you know, like I think that's what he's saying. It doesn't say that, but I think that will be because he's Black Watch tomorrow. They'll say it was gang related, even though it's probably not the case at all. My gut instinct is that he was probably being bullied. And he wanted to take it out on the people that were persecuting him. That's my gut instinct. I could be wrong. You know, they're just going to, you know, blame it because of the color of his skin. They're going to just assume what the hell it was. I mean, I don't know. These two were weird. These aren't like, there's nothing behind. This isn't behind, this isn't like after, you know, what happened a month ago, which those were racially, you know, white supremacist type people shooting into crowds of, I don't know, just random people. I don't know. This is really strange, man. This is really, really strange. It says this is a juvenile violence taken to public venue for the purpose of harming somebody in a public setting. Well, I'm sorry, but that somebody was 21 different people, right? He shot literally 21 people. So it looks like he had a problem with many somebodies, not just one or two, right? I don't know. It says it left one student dead, so it looks like they killed him as well. You know, they're saying this is unacceptable. People are trying to watch their kids play football and perform in the band. Well, I agree. I feel like this is yet, you know, what was I talking about yesterday where we're not teaching our children in school the correct things. Number one on the list should be how to communicate our feelings. How to communicate our feelings. This is, you know, it's like, who the hell needs frickin' algebra when no one knows how to say, I am angry because you did this. I feel upset when you say those words. You know, use your words, not your hands, right? Hands are not for hitting. Arms are for hugging. Just really, 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 really upsets me, you know? So now it looks like, I don't know. I think if I'm reading this correctly, this teenage boy, he's been shot dead. The other shooter got shot dead. He was 30-year-old man, white dude. But what the hell's wrong with people? Why is that becoming acceptable and okay? Why are governments, state governments, deciding to relax the policies on gun control? Why? Seems to me they don't give a flying fuck about their people. Sorry. F-bomb. F-bombs away. It just makes me very angry. Okay, I've given myself a little too much time here to be angry, but all I could say now is just send love and light to the victims, the families of the victims, and the people in the town and the surrounding areas, because that's got to be really freaking freaky now to go out. You don't just hurt the 2 or 3 people or 20 people you kill. You hurt everyone in their family, and you give post-traumatic stress disorder to the entire community. We get it. You were upset. You were raging. Everybody has those emotions. That's why a lot of us drink. It's why a lot of us scream and yell and throw a tantrum like a little child sometimes. Being petulant is one thing, but taking a gun and taking other people's lives and using this as a way to perform suicide by cop, that shit ain't cool, man. Just not cool at all. I'm really upset about this, obviously, because you know what? It just keeps frickin' happening. Again and again and again and again and again. And you know what? I don't hear news from Ecuador where this happened, or Colombia, even though there's some crazy shootings in Colombia, but not like this. Not like, let's just go to the mall and kill random innocent people. Usually there's some kind of weird demand behind it, like don't drive on the road and hurt the environment for the next 3 days or we'll kill you. I mean, insane demands like that. But I don't really hear of that. I don't think I ever heard. I lived in Lima, Peru for 18 months, and I heard of people getting shot. Like, you know, someone has beef with someone else, and then something goes awry. Usually it's over gang-related things or drugs or whatever, or robberies, most often robberies, and someone gets shot. But I didn't hear of these mass shootings. I could be wrong, but I didn't hear of it when I was there. Listen to the news every night. Unfortunately. You know, because I'd go and visit my friend who worked in a restaurant, and every night we just, hang out with him when he had a moment. And so the news was always on, so I always saw it. And I saw corruption, I saw scandals, I saw, there were some robberies and people pretending to be lame and begging money on the bus, but I didn't see mass shootings. I don't watch the news here in Ecuador, but I have never heard of mass shootings, although bullets are $50 each. If they did that in the U.S., no one would be killed because no one can afford that kind of ammo. 50 cents is nothing to kill someone, right? 75 cents, I don't even know how much a round or one bullet costs. How would I know? I don't know this, but I mean, if they just raise the cost of bullets to $50 or $150 each, people would think long and hard about taking someone's life, right? Or they'd work long and hard hours, and then they might... You guys, I don't know what to do about this other than pray. Pray for my friend Phil. He's fine. His family's fine, but... this has got to freak people out. I know he's upset. Everyone's upset. He's an empath. I don't know what to do about it. People in Alabama, they've got to be freaking out right now, right? Don't go to any place where there's going to be a lot of freaking people in the United States, period. If you're hearing this and you're hearing this warning, just stop leaving the house if it's going to be to go to a place where there's going to be a big gathering of people, including churches. Pray at home. Seriously, guys, I'm so scared for everyone in the States right now. This really upsets me. What the hell is wrong with my country? And, he's like, you don't even understand. Or these people don't even understand. You guys do understand this, but, when you're outside the U.S. and you're living outside the U.S., and then people go, where are you from? Do you know how embarrassing it is to say, I'm from the country where people just shoot up each other? And I don't give a crap about my own embarrassment. That's not the point. The point is, we are we're like a new country, and that's how our country is represented in the news to the rest of the world, And this kind of crap just doesn't happen that often anywhere else. Actually did though recently, just in recent years, but I think people have always looked to the United States as an example. And now they're taking that example and they're taking it to Paris. And they're taking that example to South Africa, and they're taking that example to New Zealand, and they're walking into churches and killing people too. They're taking that example and they're running with it. And this is not the kind of example that we should be setting for the rest of the world. We need to just ask our higher power to give us strength during these times and protect our families, our loved ones, and ourselves, and to send love and light to all those people in all these communities, in California, and from a month ago, and in Alabama, and in Texas, and in El Paso just happened 4 weeks ago. Now Odessa, in West Texas. I can't believe this crap. I just can't believe it. I'm sorry to go on and on about it, but I literally a few minutes ago heard about it, and it's time for me to record the show, and I'm just like, whoa. Well, did he do it because of a traffic violation, or did he get a traffic violation because he was speeding to go do this horrible, evil deed that he had planned? We're in the fifth dimension and this shit is still happening, or at least the news from the third dimension is bleeding over, right? And that could be what it is, but I don't know. It's just crazy. What possesses somebody? The demons are gone. The devil himself went back. The duality and the evil that's coming, the evil that you see these days it's human caused. It's a choice made by humans. It's not at all a choice made by demons or devils. We're not influenced by negative forces and entities any longer, unless we literally draw it to ourselves, because that's not, when just recently I told you guys a couple months back, Lucifer himself sat on my couch next to me and watched TV with me and cracked jokes and tried to get me to go out and do drugs and go get laid by a stranger. And he kept asking me if I want to do all that. He kept trying to tempt me with these ideas, and I wasn't budging. And we just hung out for a while and laughed and joked. And then he told me goodbye, and he said, I'm leaving. He wanted me to tell everybody that Lucifer himself, the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call him, he left. He was called back home. He went back to heaven, where he's being dealt with by God at this moment. He's isolated from the humans that are there. And he's going to be probably reabsorbed back into the head of God, right? That's what definitely is going to happen, if it hasn't happened already. And most of the people that do this kind of crap, when the schematic ends, they're either going to be reabsorbed back into the head of God, the people that created this evil in the world, where they become pure energy again, and all of their memories and everything is erased, wiped out, just gone. The Akashic records of their past might be there, but as far as them existing as a soul anymore, that's the only way a soul can cease to be. And I'm not condemning this person. I'm not judging these people. I just don't know what the hell what happened, what went wrong, right? And the other thing is, the other choice that for their souls, is to now go to a lesser world, a 3D world, where things are really rough, way worse than Earth. And they get to live out many reincarnations repeatedly. And people that create such evil, they don't get to die, go to heaven, rest, relax, see family, friends, loved ones, get counseling by the elders in the elderly council. The elder council. They don't, or council of elders, sorry, I'm saying that wrong. They don't get all those privileges. When you choose to be an evil one and you're on earth as an evil one, when you die, you get born immediately right into the next body, just like that. The next available body with the same sinister energy surrounding it. You get to be born into an evil family, like Draco Malfoy. You get to be born into an evil family. And when you die in the next life, you get to be born immediately into an evil family. You don't get the privilege of going to heaven and seeing family and friends, and you don't get a spirit guide or a guardian angel or a spiritual council of elders that will help you and guide you. It's a godless, soulless life, even though people that perform evil deeds have an evil-based soul, and it was based on a choice that they made. I don't know, guys. I don't know. A lot of people are going to leave the planet. People are choosing to leave the planet in a wide variety of ways. This is a modern day way to leave the planet. I don't know. The senseless violence crap has just got to go. I have a feeling that this is like a third dimensional bleed over, and the worlds are still colliding. We're trying to still separate out away from the third dimension, even though you guys listening to me and other people, they're listening to other spiritual channels. Most of us we're in the fifth dimension. Even though we hear this stuff, we're still, we can still get angry and upset about it and drop our vibration temporarily. And then we realize, okay, thank God we're okay. Thank God our families are okay. Hopefully. Ojalá, inshallah, as God allows it, we're okay. It's just really upsetting. It's just so super upsetting. I hope you guys are okay. I hope I didn't bring you bad news. And I assume if you live in the States, you already know about this. If you're in Europe or Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, I got a lot of people in Ireland. Hey. And Paris, I have a lot of people in France listening. And I love all you guys. And no matter where in the world you are, even in the Philippines, I've got a lot of listeners in the Philippines now, and thank you. And Lima too, by the way. I've got a lot of people from Peru, probably my friends from Lima. But it's shocking, isn't it? If you're from another country, what is your take on that? I would love to hear if you leave me a voice message at anchor.fm/metaphysical, or write me an email at metaphysicalsoulspeak@gmail.com, or actually, conversely, we do have the Metaphysical Soul Speak, the discussion group on Facebook right now. You can go there and discuss this. Let your feelings out about it. It's just, you need to express it when you feel it. And I just heard about it a little bit ago, and I'm just, my friend had written me a while ago, and I just saw his text, and I was watching a Sandra Bullock movie, the one 24 hours? I don't know. Oh no, 28 days. Sorry, it was 28 days. It was like about being in rehab. Yeah, I don't know. Just crazy stuff. Anyway, I want to change our energy, and I want to manage our energy right now a little bit and create a higher vibration for us, because we deserve that. We did the right thing. We didn't strap on arms and go shoot up a bunch of strangers. So, as spiritual people, on the path to enlightenment and ascension, we deserve to raise our vibration now, right? And honestly, I mean, I know I'm not an enlightened master yet because this has upset me. And you know, you're not supposed to be affected emotionally by things that happen, good, bad, or indifferent. You're supposed to constantly be focused on the one will and divine. And I know that. I know that. I'm an enlightened being, but I'm not an ascended master by any stretch of the imagination. I'm ascended to the fifth dimension. But I don't think I am in control of my emotions yet. As an empath, it's a little rough for us. And a lot of you listening, I know you guys are empaths. You're the same as me. And it's just, you got to learn to let it go the way I need to learn to let it go right away. Hear it and go, well, that's just crap. But at the same time, don't feel nothing, right? You can't just feel nothing. Anyway, so I'm going to read to you a little passage I thought was interesting from a book called Karma Transformed, Fast Track Your Evolution. And this is by Dr. Kelley Bennet and Cheryl, Charlie Romney Brown. And Dr. Bennett was my therapist when I was, when he was here in Cuenca. And he lived here for a while, and he just moved to Mexico. He went to Lake Chapala. If you find yourself in Lake Chapala, please look him up. I did brainwave optimization therapy, which I still have not done an episode about, but I do plan to. I did brainwave optimization therapy with him, and it did help me quite a bit with a lot of my PTSD and anxiety, because I have had a lot of bad things happen in the past 6 to 7 years. Well, 10 years, actually. A lot of scary things. So I needed that help and that boost, and his equipment, he can transform, and other people who do brainwave optimization can transform all of the negative things that happened since you were born. In fact, since before you were born, in the womb. All the negative thoughts your mother might have had towards you or towards the situation of being pregnant, and if it got imprinted on your brain, brainwave optimization therapy actually reverses it. So, look into it. You might find a local therapist that can help you. But I'm going to read you a little bit that really made me kind of happy to hear it, to be honest. Okay. Now, this is what his spiritual guidance team is telling him while he is in meditation. And I believe he spoke into a recorder, and then Charlie kind of wrote it, maybe typed it out. And this is their second book, and it's a very interesting book. So, all right, it says, now you are intent on embracing what we consider central to the very core of your beings. It has taken some time to bring you home, to bring you here, time well spent. But it has slowed the process. It has slowed the process. In light of our goals, the faster you respond to our energy tugs, the better for all. Let go, and we will satisfy your every requirement. Now remember, this is not just his spiritual team. This is God also talking. And when I read this, I want you to imagine this is God talking to you directly. All right? In light of our goals, the faster you respond to our energy tugs, the better for all. Let go, and we will satisfy your every requirement. For the roles you will play, the fabric of your lives must change. Enjoy the shift. It is not onerous. And that doesn't mean honor, like onerous. Your intent and attitude are where everything begins. Intent is a choice, while attitude is an orientation and an outcome. We can use attitudes that are informed by your intent. We can provide the intent that is best for you to use, while our formula, which is open, expand, connect, and follow. Basically, you open to the one will, you expand your energy field, and then you connect to the one will, and you follow the guidance that you get. whether it's a message in a radio show or a TV show or from a billboard or something a little kid says as he's walking by you, whatever, or directly in your heart of hearts and you hear the still small voice, or you have an idea in your head. Okay? Our formula, open, expand, connect, and follow, will shape your attitude. For best results, we suggest that you keep your mind on the what of your intent. As we told you, we are the how and when energies, because we know the probabilities and the timing that exists. Stay open and leave the how and the when to us, which will reduce any tendency to panic. All right, so I hope that helps. That's just 3. That's on page, if you have this book, it's on page 35. So basically, I like that. The only thing that out of where, when, who, why, what, and how, all you need to do is focus on the what. So when, in terms of law of attraction, say you're, like, for example, mine, I'm focusing on a house that I want. And I say specifically this particular house or something better for me and my son and my oldest son if he comes home, and any grandkids I might have, right? I mean, I'm looking for a house to buy, to live in, forever, basically. A home base that from which I could springboard all of my travels and all of my businesses and all of my career moves I want to make in coming years. I'm not going to stay there forever, and I might end up buying houses in a few different places. I mean, hell, maybe I'll buy an island in the Caribbean. Who knows what the future holds? But right now, my what that I want is a house here in Cuenca where I live. So that's my what. So I keep imagining, when I go to sleep, I imagine that I'm in that house. But I also say, well, or something better. I close my eyes and imagine myself swimming in my own private swimming pool, because I have broken my leg, and it's the best kind of exercise for me is to swim in a pool where a lot of my weight is taken off of my ankle. So I'm always imagining that. And then I just imagine I'm in the pool with my eyes closed because I don't know what house I'm in, right? I'm in the pool and I'm imagining floating through the pool and doing aqua aerobics and exercising and feeling really good emotionally. Because I'm surrounded by my element, baby, water. Yeah. So whatever it is that you want in your life, just focus on the what. Let the hows go. The how is the one that's a killer, because you're always like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get money? How am I going to, how? And you're going to how yourself to death, right? So just focus on the what you want. Imagine you have it now and be grateful for it. And that's it, baby. Let the rest go. All the other question words, that's on God. God created you, put you in this situation. Your job is to focus on the what, and that's it. Focus on the what with positive intent, and don't doubt for a single second. You have to orient yourself in a way in which all you think about is what you want in a positive way. What you think about, you bring about. But we're going to go over more of the law of attraction in a minute when we continue with the reading of the science of getting rich. But first, we're going to now go to our handy dandy charts, the Schumann resonance news. We're going to go to Italy first at disclosurenews.it. They basically said at the evening report, today was a bit of continuous light activity. The most active part was from 6 to 10 UTC time, with 2 peaks over 30 hertz. It's weird they say over 30 hertz now. They're not being as specific, like, is that 30.5 or 31? Do you round up? Do you round down? Was it 32, 33? It's kind of weird they didn't say anything, just 30. over 30. So maybe, I'm assuming it was just slightly over 30, and they can't really say 31 because it wasn't right to round it up. I don't know. What do I know? But I don't know how they read their thing, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, now when we go to heartmath.org, we look at the Schumann resonance frequency news from California. They were at 139 hertz frequency at midnight, and they went up at 4 a.m. to 146. And when we look at Hofuf, Saudi Arabia, they started off at 116 hertz frequency, and they went up to 120 hertz frequency by 4 a.m. At midnight in Lithuania, they started off at 28 hertz frequency, and they went down to 0 by 4 a.m. And at midnight in Alberta, Canada, they started at 295 hertz frequency. Again, very, very, very high. Makes me want to go there and see what it feels like. But they started off, let's see, I'm going to go that again, 295, and they ended up at 308. They went up. So this isn't consistent around the globe if it's all going up or all going down. It's some go up, some go down. It's weird. Now, and one stays the same, and you all know which one that is by now. 70 hertz frequency in Northland, New Zealand, at midnight and at 4 a.m. They were at 73 hertz frequency. And again, in Hululu, South Africa, they're just at 0. It's like their machine got broken. I don't know what happened there. Either that or they really just are at that frequency, which is crazy, right? Why are they zeroed out? Is that where the crack in the magnetosphere is? Okay, in A Course in Miracles, acim.org, we're going to raise our frequency even more with this. We are still reviewing, and today are 2 ideas to review. Number 1, my only function is the one God gave me. My only function is the one God gave me. My perception of this does not change my function. This does not give me a function other than the one God gave me. Let me not use this to justify a function God did not give me. From Lesson 65, this is the review. My only function is the one God gave me. From Lesson 66, the review is my happiness and my function are one. My happiness and my function are one. All things that come from God are one. They come from oneness and must be received as one, fulfilling my function as my happiness because both come from the same source. Fulfilling my function is my happiness because both come from the same source. I must learn to recognize what makes me happy if I would find happiness. Because being happy, of course, is your function. My happiness and my function are one. So some specific forms of the application today are, this cannot separate my happiness from my function. The oneness of my happiness and my function remains wholly unaffected by this. Nothing, including this, can justify the illusion of happiness apart from my function. All right, guys, I hope that this has been helpful for you. I'm hoping that the news in the beginning wasn't too terribly upsetting. It upsets me. And you know what? Maybe you could cry with me when this happens and, you're feeling this crap too. I mean, we kind of, as a species, need to start hoping better for us, right? Like, how is this okay? This is not at all okay. We need to accept better for us. We need to accept better, and we're going to talk about how to accept better for us financially in a moment after this message, when I read from you, or for you, from the book, a 1910 classic called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And we left off at the end of chapter 12. We are starting at chapter 13. 13, number of death, I am aware. Everything happens for a reason. God has us all in the palm of his hand. Everything is okay. Everything is as it should be. And we're going to read from The Science of Getting Rich when I come back. If you're listening to this, you obviously like podcasts, and you probably like music too. Long walks on the beach, romantic dancing under the stars, and oh wait, we're not doing that right now. On Spotify, you can listen to all of that in one place for free, and you don't even need a premium account, which is cool. Free is always good. Spotify has a huge catalog of podcasts on every topic, including the one you're listening to right now. On Spotify, you can follow your favorite podcasts so you never miss an episode. Download episodes to listen to offline wherever you are, including your long romantic walks on the beach. Also, one thing I love about Spotify is that you can easily share what you're listening to with your friends via Spotify's integrations with the social platforms like Instagram. So that makes it really, really versatile. Just search for Metaphysical Soul Speak on the Spotify app or browse podcasts in the Your Library tab. And follow me, of course, don't forget, so that you'll never again miss an episode of Metaphysical Soul Speak. Spotify is the world's leading music streaming service, and now it can be your go-to for podcasts too. Thank you guys so much for supporting Metaphysical Soul Speak on Spotify. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you. All right, guys, I misspoke in the last section and said this was part 3. This is indeed part 4 in our continuing reading of excerpts of The Science of Getting Rich, written in the smack dab middle of the Victorian era in 1910. This is a Law of Attraction classic. This is deep metaphysics, guys. And it was written by Wallace D. Wattles. He was a metaphysical genius. And he has a lot of things that he had to say that will help you on your very merry way of making a success of your life in the thing that you wish to do. And you can apply these ideas and principles to any and everything else in your life that you wish to do. And so, without further ado, we're going to start where we left off last week with chapter 13, getting into the right business. Success in any particular business depends for one thing upon your possessing, in a well-developed state, the faculties required in that business. Without good musical faculty, no one can succeed as a teacher of music. Without well-developed mechanical faculties, no one can achieve great success in any of the mechanical trades. Without tact and the commercial faculties, no one can succeed in mercantile pursuits. But to possess in a well-developed state the faculties required in your particular vocation does not ensure getting rich. There are musicians who have remarkable talent and who yet remain poor. There are blacksmiths, carpenters, and so on who have excellent mechanical ability but who do not get rich. And there are merchants with good faculties for dealing with men who nevertheless fail. The different faculties are tools. It is essential to have good tools, but it is also essential that the tools should be used in the right way. One man can take a sharp saw, a square, a good plane, and so on, and build a handsome article of furniture. Another man can take the same tools and set to work to duplicate the article, but his production will be a botch. He does not know how to use good tools in a successful way. The various faculties of your mind are the tools with which you must do the work, which is to make you rich. It will be easier for you to succeed if you get into a business for which you are well equipped with mental tools. Generally speaking, you will do best in that business which will use your strongest faculties, the one for which you are naturally the best fitted. But there are limitations to this statement also. No man should regard his vocation as being irrevocably fixed by the tendencies with which he was born. You can get rich in any business, for if you have not the right talent for you, can develop that talent. It merely means that you will have to make your tools as you go along, instead of confining yourself to use of those with which you were born. It will be easier for you to succeed in a vocation for which you already have the talents in a well-developed state, but you can succeed in any vocation, for you can develop any rudimentary talent, and there is no talent of which you have not at least the rudiment. You will get rich most easily in point of effort if you do that for which you are best fitted, but you will get rich most satisfactorily if you do that which you want to do. Doing what you want to do is life. And there is no real satisfaction in living if we are compelled to be forever doing something with which we do not like to do and can never do what we want to do. And it is certain that you can do what you want to do. The desire to do it is proof that you have within you the power which can do it. Desire is a manifestation of power. The desire to play music is the power which can play music seeking expression and development. The desire to invent mechanical devices is the mechanical talent seeking expression and development. Where there is no power, either developed or undeveloped, to do a thing, there is never any desire to do that thing. And where there is a strong desire to do a thing, it is certain proof that the power to do it is strong and only requires to be developed and applied in the right way. All else all things else being equal, it is best to select the business for which you have the best developed talent. But if you have a strong desire to engage in any particular line of work, you should select that work as the ultimate end at which you aim. You can do what you want to do, and it is your right and privilege to follow the business or avocation which will be the most congenial and pleasant. You are not obliged to do what you do not like to do, and should not do it except as a means to bring you to the doing of the thing you want to do. If there are past mistakes whose consequences have placed you in an undesirable business or environment, you may be obliged for some time to do what you do not like to do, but you can make the doing of it pleasant by knowing that it is making it possible for you to come to the doing of what you want to do. If you feel that you are not in the right vocation, do not act too hastily in trying to get into another one. The best way generally to change business or environment is by growth. Do not be afraid to make a sudden and radical change if the opportunity is presented and you feel after careful consideration that it is the right opportunity, but never take sudden or radical action when you are in doubt as to the wisdom of doing so. There is never any hurry on the creative plane, and there is no lack of opportunity. When you get out of the competitive mind, you will understand that you never need to act hastily. No one else is going to beat you to the thing you want to do. There is enough for all. If one space is taken, another and a better one will be opened for you a little farther on. There's plenty of time. When you are in doubt, wait, fall back on the contemplation of your vision and increase your faith and purpose. And by all means, in times of doubt and indecision, cultivate gratitude. A day or two spent in contemplating the vision of what you want and in earnest thanksgiving that you are getting it will bring your mind into such close relationship with the Supreme that you will make no mistake when you do act. There is a mind which knows all there is to know, and you can come into close unity with this mind by faith and the purpose to advance in life, if you have deep gratitude. Mistakes can come from acting hastily, or from acting in fear and doubt, or in forgetfulness of the right motive, which is more life to all and less to none. As you go on in a certain way, opportunities will come to you in increasing number, and you will need to be very steady in your faith and purpose, and to keep in close touch with the all mind by reverent gratitude. Do all that you can do in a perfect manner every day, but do it without haste, worry, or fear. Go as fast as you can, but never hurry. Remember that in the moment you begin to hurry, you cease to become a creator and you become a competitor. You drop back upon the old plane once again. Whenever you find yourself hurrying, call a halt. Fix your attention on the mental image of the thing you want and begin to give thanks that you are getting it. The exercise of gratitude will never fail to strengthen your faith and renew your purpose. Chapter 14, the impression of increase. whether you change your vocation or not. Your actions for the present must be those pertaining to the business in which you are now engaged. You can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you are already established in, by doing your daily work in a certain way. And insofar as your business consists in dealing with other men, whether personally or by letter, the key thought of all your efforts must be to convey to their minds the impression of increase. Increase is what all men and all women are seeking. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them, seeking fuller expression. The desire for increase is inherent in all of nature. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. All human activities are based on the desire for increase. People are seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure, increase in something, more life. Every living thing is under this necessity for continuous advancement, where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. I'm going to read that part again. Every living thing is under this necessity for continuous advancement, where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. Man instinctively knows this, and hence he is forever seeking more. This law of perpetual increase is set forth by Jesus in the parable of the talents. Only those who gain more retain any. For him who hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. The normal desire for increased wealth is not an evil or reprehensible thing. It is simply the desire for a more abundant life. It is aspiration. And because it is the deepest instinct of their natures, all men and women are attracted to him who can give them more of the means of life. In following the certain way as described in the foregoing pages, you are getting continuous increase for yourself. And you're giving it to all with whom you deal. You are a creative center from which increase is given off to all. Be sure of this and convey assurance of the fact to every man, woman, and child with whom you come in contact. No matter how small the transaction, even if it be only the selling of a stick of candy to a little child, put into it the thought of increase. Make sure the customer is impressed with that thought. Convey the impression of advancement with everything you do, so that all people shall receive the impression that you are an advancing man, and that you advance all who deal with you, even to the people whom you meet in a social way, without any thought of business, and to whom you do not try to sell anything, still give the thought of increase. You can convey this impression by holding the unshakable faith in you, the unshakable faith that you yourself are in the way of increase, and letting this faith inspire, fill, and permeate every action. Do everything that you do in the firm conviction that you are an advancing personality and that you are giving advancement to everybody. Feel that you are getting rich and that in so doing, you are making others rich and conferring benefits on all. Do not boast or brag of your success or talk about it unnecessarily. True faith is never boastful. Wherever you find a boastful person, you find one who is secretly doubtful and afraid. Simply feel the faith and let it work out in every transaction. Let every act and tone and look express the quiet assurance that you are getting rich, that you are already rich. Words will not be necessary to communicate this feeling to others. They will feel the sense of increase when in your presence and will be attracted to you again. You must so impress others that they will feel that in associating with you, they will get increase for themselves. See that you give them a use value greater than the cash value that you are taking from them. Take an honest pride in doing this and let everybody know it, and you will have no lack of customers. People will go where they are given increase, and the Supreme, which desires increase in all and which knows all, will move rapidly toward you, men and women who have never heard of you. Your business will increase rapidly, and you will be surprised at the unexpected benefits which will come to you. You will be able from day to day to make larger combinations, secure greater advantages, and to go on into a more congenial vocation if you desire to do so. But doing things, all this, you must never lose sight of your vision of what you want, or your faith and purpose to get what you want. Let me here give you another word of caution in regard to motives. Beware of the insidious temptation to seek for power over other men. Nothing is so pleasant to the unformed or partially developed mind as the exercise of power or dominion over others. The desire to rule for selfish gratification has been the curse of the world. For countless ages, kings and lords have drenched the earth with blood in their battles to extend their dominions. This is not to seek more life for all, but to get more power for themselves. Today, the main motive in the business and industrial world is the same. Men marshal their armies of dollars and lay waste their lives and hearts of millions in this same mad scramble for power over others. Commercial kings, like political kings, are inspired by the lust for power. Jesus saw in this desire for mastery the moving impulse of that evil world he sought to overthrow. Read the 23rd chapter of Matthew and see how he pictures the lust of the Pharisees to be called master, to sit in the high places, to domineer over others, and to lay burdens on the backs of the less fortunate. And note how he compares this lust for dominion with the brotherly seeking for the common good to which he calls his disciples. Look out for the temptation to seek for authority or to become a master, to be considered as one who is above the common herd, to impress others by lavish display, and so on. The mind that seeks for mastery over others is the competitive mind. and the competitive mind is not the creative one. In order to master your environment and your destiny, it is not at all necessary that you should rule over your fellow men. And indeed, when you fall into the world's struggle for the high places, you begin to be conquered by fate and environment. And your getting rich becomes a matter of chance, speculation. Beware of the competitive mind. No better statement of the principle of creative action can be formulated than the favorite declaration of the Golden Rule, Jones of Toledo. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. Chapter 15, The Advancing Man. What I've said in the last chapter applies as well to the professional man and the wage earner as to the man who is engaged in mercantile business. No matter whether you are a physician, a teacher, a clergyman, if you can give increase of life to others and make them sensible of the fact, they will be attracted to you and you will get rich. The physician who holds the vision of himself as a great and successful healer and who works towards the complete realization of that vision with faith and purpose, as described in former chapters, will come into such close touch with the source of life that he will be phenomenally successful. Patients will come to him in throngs. No one has a greater opportunity to carry into effect the teaching of this book than the practitioner of medicine. It does not matter to which of the various schools he may belong, for the principle of healing is common to all of them and may be reached by all alike. The advancing man in medicine, who holds to a clear mental image of himself as successful, who obeys the laws of faith, purpose, and gratitude, will cure every curable case he undertakes, no matter what remedies he may use. In the field of religion, the world cries out for the clergyman who can teach his hearers the true science of abundant life. He who masters the details of the science of getting rich together with the allied sciences of being well, of being great, of winning love, and who teaches these details from the pulpit will never lack for a congregation. This is the gospel that the world needs. It will increase of life, and men will hear it gladly and will give liberal support to the man who brings it to them. What is now needed is a demonstration of the science of life from the pulpit. We want preachers who can not only tell us how, but who in their own persons will show us how. We need the preacher who will himself be rich, healthy, great, and beloved, to teach us how to attain these things. And when he comes, he will find a numerous and loyal following. The same is true of the teacher who can inspire the children with the faith and the purpose of advancing life. He will never be out of a job. And any teacher who has this faith and purpose can give it to his pupils. He cannot help giving it to them if it is part of his own life and practice. What is true of the teacher, preacher, and physician is true of the lawyer, dentist, real estate man, insurance agent, of everybody. The combined mental and personal action I have described is infallible. It cannot fail. Every man and every woman who follows these instructions steadily, perseveringly, and to the letter will get rich. The law of the increase of life is as mathematically certain in its operation as the law of gravitation. Getting rich is an exact science. The wage earner will find this as true of his case as of any of the others mentioned. Do not feel that you have no chance to get rich because you are working where there is no visible opportunity for advancement, where wages are small and the cost of living is high. Form your clear mental vision of what you want and begin to act with faith and purpose. Do all the work you can do every day and do each piece of work in a perfectly successful manner. Put the power of success and the purpose to get rich into everything that you do. But do not do this merely with the idea of currying favor with your employer in the hope that he or those above you will see your good work and advance you. It's not likely that they will do so. The man who is merely a good workman, fulfilling his place to the very best of his ability and satisfied with that, is valuable to his employer, and so it's not in the employer's interest to promote him. He is worth more where he is. To secure advancement, something more is necessary than to be too large for your place. The man who is certain to advance is the one who is too big for his place and who has a clear concept of what he wants to be, who knows that he can become what he wants to be, and who is determined to be what he wants to be. Do not try to more than fill your present place with a view of pleasing your employer. Do it with the idea of advancing yourself. Hold the faith and purpose of increase during work hours, after work hours, and before work hours. Hold it in such a way that every person who comes in contact with you, whether foreman, fellow workman, or social acquaintance, will feel the power of purpose radiating from you. So that everyone will get this sense of advancement and increase from you. Men will be attracted to you, and if there is no possibility for advancement in your present job, you will very soon see an opportunity to take another job. There is a power which never fails to present opportunity to the advancing man who is moving in obedience to the law. God cannot help helping you if you act in a certain way. He must do so in order to help himself. There's nothing in your circumstances or in the industrial situation that can keep you down. If you cannot get rich working for the Steel Trust, you can get rich on a 10-acre farm. If you begin to move in a certain way, you will certainly escape from the clutches of the Steel Trust and get onto the farm or whatever else you wish to be. If a few thousands of its employees would enter upon this certain way, the Steel Trust would soon be in a bad plight. It would have to give its working men more opportunity or go out of business. Nobody has to work for a trust. The trusts can keep men in so-called hopeless conditions only so long as there are men who are too ignorant to know of the science of getting rich, or too intellectually slothful to practice it. Begin this way of thinking and acting, and your faith and purpose will make you quick to see any opportunity to better your condition. Such opportunities will speedily come for the Supreme, working in all, and working for you will bring them before you. Do not wait for an opportunity to be all that you want to be when an opportunity to be more than you are now is presented, and you feel impelled toward it, take it. It will be the first step toward a greater opportunity. There is no such thing possible in this universe as a lack of opportunities for the man who's living the advancing life. I'm going to read that again because that's important to know. There is no such thing possible in this universe as a lack of opportunities for the man who is living the advancing life. It is inherent in the constitution of the cosmos that all things shall be for him and work together for his good, and he must certainly get rich if he acts and thinks in the certain way. So, let wage-earning men and women study this book with great care and enter with confidence upon the course of action it prescribes. It will not fail. Okay, chapter 16. Some cautions and concluding observations. Many people will scoff at the idea that there is an exact science of getting rich. Holding the impression that the supply of wealth is limited, they will insist that social and government institutions must be changed before any considerable number of people can acquire a competence. But this is not true. It is true that existing governments keep the masses in poverty. But this is because the masses do not think and act in a certain way. If the masses begin to move forward as suggested in this book, neither governments nor industrial systems can check them. All systems must be modified to accommodate the forward movement. If the people have the advancing mind, have the faith that they can become rich and move forward with a fixed purpose to become rich, nothing can possibly keep them in poverty. Individuals may enter upon the certain way at any time and under any government and make themselves rich. And when any considerable number of individuals do so under any government, they will cause the system to be so modified as to open the way for others. The more men who get rich on the competitive plane, the worse for others. The more who get rich on the creative plane, the better for others. The economic salvation of the masses can only be accomplished by getting a large number of people to practice the scientific method set down in this book and become rich. They will show others the way and inspire them with a desire for real life, with the faith that it can be attained, and with the purpose to attain it. For the present, however, it is enough to know that neither the government under which you live nor the capitalistic or competitive system of industry can keep you from getting rich. When you enter upon the creative plane of thought, you will rise above all of these things and become citizen of another kingdom. But remember that your thought must be held upon the creative plane, for you are never for an instant to be betrayed into regarding the supply is limited or into acting on the moral level of competition. Whenever you fall into old ways of thought, correct yourself instantly. For when you are in the competitive mind, you have lost the cooperation. For when you're in the competitive mind, you have lost the cooperation of the mind of the whole. Whenever you do fall into old ways of thought. Correct yourself instantly, for when you are in the competitive mind, you have lost the cooperation of the mind of the whole. Do not spend any time in planning as to how you will meet possible emergencies in the future, except as the necessary policies may affect your actions today. You are concerned with doing today work in a perfectly successful manner, and not with emergencies which may arise tomorrow. You can attend to them as they come. Do not concern yourself with questions as to how you shall surmount obstacles which may loom upon your business horizon, unless you can plainly see that your course must be altered today in order to avoid them. No matter how tremendous an obstruction may appear at a distance, you will find that if you go on in a certain way, it will disappear as you approach it, or that a way over, through, or around it will appear. No possible combination of circumstances can defeat a man or woman who is proceeding to get rich along strictly scientific lines. No man or woman who obeys the law can fail to get rich any more than one can multiply 2 by 2 and fail to get 4. Give no anxious thought to possible disasters, obstacles, panics, or unfavorable combinations of circumstances. It is time enough to meet such things when they present themselves before you in the immediate present. And you will find that every difficulty carries with it the wherewithal for its overcoming. Guard your speech. Never speak of yourself, your affairs, or of anything else in a discouraged or discouraging way. Never admit the possibility of failure, or speak in a way that infers failure as a possibility. Never speak of the times as being hard or of business conditions being doubtful. Times may be hard and business doubtful, but for those who are on the competitive plane, but when they can never be so for you, you can create what you want, and you are above fear. When opportunities are having hard times and poor business, you will find your greatest opportunity. Train yourself to think of and to look upon the world as a something which is becoming, which is growing, and to regard seeming evil as being only that which is undeveloped. Also speak in terms of advancement. To do otherwise is to deny your faith, and to deny your faith is to lose it. Never allow yourself to feel disappointed. You may expect to have a certain thing at a certain time and not to get it at that time. And this will appear to you like failure, but if you hold on to your faith, you will find that the failure is only apparent. Go on in a certain way, and if you do not receive that thing, you will receive something so much better that you will see that the seeming failure was really a great success. A student of this science had set his mind on making a certain business combination, which seemed to him at the time to be very desirable, and he worked for some weeks to bring it about. When the crucial time came, the thing failed in a perfectly inexplicable way. It was as if some unseen influence It was as if some unseen influence had been working secretly against him. He was not disappointed. On the contrary, he thanked God that his desire had been overruled, and went steadily on with a grateful mind. In a few weeks, an opportunity so much better came his way that he would not have made the first deal on any account. And he saw that a mind which knew more than he knew had prevented him from losing the greater good by entangling himself with the lesser. That is the way every seeming failure will work out for you, if you keep your faith. Hold to your purpose and have gratitude, and do every day all that can be done that day, doing each separate act in a successful manner. When you make a failure, it is because you have not asked for enough. Keep on, and a larger thing than you are seeking will certainly come to you. Remember this. You will not fail because you lack the necessary talent to do what you wish to do. If you go on as I have directed, you will develop all the talent that is necessary to the doing of your work. It is not within the scope of this book to deal with the science of cultivating talent, but it is as certain and simple as the process of getting rich. However, do not hesitate or waver for fear that when you come to any certain place, you will fail for lack of ability. Keep right on, and when you come to that place, the ability will be furnished to you. The same source of ability which enabled the untaught Lincoln to do the greatest work in government ever accomplished by a single man is open to you. You may draw upon all the mind there is for wisdom to use in meeting the responsibilities which are laid upon you. Go on in full faith. Study this book. Make it your constant companion until you have mastered all of the ideas contained within it. While you are getting firmly established in this faith, you will do well to give up most recreations and pleasure, to stay away from places where ideas conflicting with these are advanced in lectures or sermons. Do not read pessimistic or conflicting literature. Do not get into arguments upon the matter. Do very little reading outside of the writers mentioned in the preface. Spend most of your leisure time in contemplating your vision, in cultivating gratitude, and in reading this book. It contains all you need to know of the science of getting rich. And you will find all the essentials summed up in the following chapter. Okay, chapter 17. The summary of the science of getting rich. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by that thought. Man can form in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, man must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. Otherwise, he cannot be in harmony with the formless intelligence, which is always creative and never competitive in spirit. Man may come into full harmony with the formless substance by entertaining a lively and sincere gratitude for the blessings it bestows upon him. Gratitude unifies the mind of man with the intelligence of substance, so that man's thoughts are received by the formless. Man can remain upon the creative plane only by uniting himself with the formless intelligence through a deep and continuous feeling of gratitude. Man must form a clear and definite mental image of the things he wishes to have, to do, or to become. He must hold this mental image in his thoughts while being deeply grateful to the Supreme that all his desires are granted to him. The man who wishes to get rich must spend his leisure hours contemplating his vision and in earnest thanksgiving that the reality is being given to him. Too much stress cannot be laid upon the importance of frequent contemplation of the mental image, coupled with unwavering faith and devout gratitude. This is the process by which the impression is given to the formless and the creative force is set in motion. The creative energy works through the established channels of natural growth and of the industrial and social order. All that is included in his mental image will surely be brought to the man who follows the instructions given above and whose faith does not waver. What he wants will come to him through the ways of established trade and commerce. In order to receive his own when it shall come to him, man must be active, and this activity can only consist in more than fulfilling his present place. He must keep in mind the purpose to get rich through the realization of his mental image. And he must do every day all that can be done every day. He must do every day all that can be done that day, taking care to do each act in a successful manner. He must give to every man a use value in excess of the cash value he receives, so that each transaction makes for more life. And he must so hold the advancing thought that the impression of increase will be communicated to all with whom he comes in contact. The men and women who practice the foregoing instructions will certainly get rich, and the riches they receive will be in exact proportion to the definiteness of their vision, the fixity of their purpose, the steadiness of their faith, and the depth of their gratitude. The end. All right, guys, I hope that you found this to be a marvelous treasure as I found. I have used this again and again, and some of the things I've forgotten about. You guys know I've complained or had doubts or discouraging moments. But you know what? I'm going to try to do better. I'm going to strive to do better. That's all we can do. The past is the past. It's behind us. The future never comes because it's always in front of us. What we have now is a present, and that's why it's a gift. It's a present. And my gift to you today is that I read this book to you. 4 weeks in a row. It took us a month to read this one. But we did it, did we not? During the month of August, we read The Science of Getting Rich, and now tomorrow is a brand new day. It's a brand new month. It's back to school time, right? It's the energy of fall and back to school and new beginnings and new friendships and new energy. A new way to be creative. How are you going to use this information? How are you going to become rich in a certain and right way? when I was reading the words about discouraging words, this song came into my head and I almost started laughing. Where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. And I know I'm probably off key with this one, but I love that song, the old cowboy song. And my youngest has just suddenly gotten into the cowboy movement of fashion. And he says, there's something that feels really right about this, Mom. I feel it. I feel it deep in my blood, deep in my genetic history somehow, that if I wear a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, I just feel that I'm going to somehow connect to a long line of genetic heritage, right? And it's true. My daddy had a horse ranch in Kentucky for a while. And on his daddy's side, his father's grandmother, her ancestors created the city known as Fort Collins in Colorado. Yeah, they were the Collins family. They settled there and they were like cowboys. They wore the Western clothing. And my son's grandmother came over across the United States by covered wagon. Wasn't so long ago. His great-grandma. So he's more on the side of his father with the cowboy thing. If you want to call them Indians, they're not Indians. But for my family, we are Native Americans. The old Wild West is inside of us. And inside of us is that pioneering spirit to keep going no matter what, to fight against all odds, to succeed. That is the energy of the United States of America. That is at least my take of it. So don't allow anything to discourage you, not even the stupid news, especially not the news. Don't even listen to the news, especially if you're working on this program and you're trying to succeed and get something for yourself. Like I mentioned last week, I've used the science of getting rich to create an income that I used for the past 10 years. That income is ending in 13 months now. 13, and death is an ending and a transformation. So I'm working on myself right now to create the future that I wish to bring about. Because it's what I think about every day. I can't help it. If you have a vision so strong and it's so intense and so powerful in your heart of hearts, you're not going to be able to stop thinking about it. My son was obsessed with getting a bicycle, and then he got one. Then he's obsessed with putting a motor on the bicycle, and he did that. Now he's obsessed with cowboy wear. I'm sure by Christmas I'm going to be having a little adolescent cowboy running around my house. I might even encourage him to watch some John Wayne movies with me, or at least some John Ford directed movies. My God, he was a good director. I love him. Love him so much. There's something very deep and meaningful and powerful in the imagery of the old days. The moral values that some of these movies portray. Helping your neighbor, being kindly to strangers, loving others. Men treating women with dignity and respect, respecting their boundaries. And women accepting more from themselves, and expecting more for themselves. A lot of these movies, old Wild West movies I watched, the women are always increasing themselves as well. They're wealthy. A lot of them got there by hard work and by focusing on things in a certain way, right? They seem to be positive and steadfast in their visions. I've seen a lot of, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen a lot of wild westerns like that, where the man always rescues the women, but the women are always headstrong. There's some things we can leave, but there, John Wayne spanking the ladies, it's kind of funny and a weird fetish that a lot of people gained after watching that. But I want you guys to think about all this stuff that I've said and all this stuff that is in this book. This book has shaped me in ways I cannot begin to explain, but I can just show you as an example of my life. And I'm making another leap, and you know what? Leap and the net will appear. Don't be afraid. Rise above the fear, because you are on the creative plane and you are bringing God's will with you. You cannot fail. I cannot fail. We cannot fail, and we're in all this together. Well, anyway, I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. Please send me a message at anchor.fm/metaphysical or an email at metaphysicalsoulspeak@gmail.com. Discussion group, again, Metaphysical Soul Speak, the discussion group is available on Facebook. I hope that a few of you start going over there and talking with each other. A couple people have already joined. Somebody contacted me from here in Cuenca. I think that she liked my Metaphysical Soul Speak page on Facebook, and then contacted me. She's like, where do you live? I'm like, I live in Cuenca. She's like, oh my God, I live here too. She wants to know everything about me, and it turns out she's the same age as my son, so I'm attracting a lot of younger people, the younger generations, who want a different way. And my son's like, I'm friends with her. Why? It's weird she contacted you. I guess she didn't notice that yet. She's going to be thrilled when she finds that out. Her name is Lily, so hi, Lily, in case you're listening. Even my son's girlfriend, Cammie, she listens. Hi, Cammie, in case you're listening. She listens with her mother, and they want to improve their English and listen to this stuff because they're interested in metaphysics also. Anyway, I love each and every one of you, and I wanted to thank you. And somebody else just favorited my podcast, by the way, and it was an initial, I want to say it's GT, but I'm not sure. But I wanted to say thank you for favoriting my podcast recently, and thank you for following me at Mermaid Girl 888 on Twitter and also Instagram. Anyway, I'm done. That's all I got to say about that. All right, guys. I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the holy fifth dimension. Until next time, peace. Hi guys, I know that it's summertime, it's August, I was born in August, and I know this is a hot month, especially if you're in the United States, and now we've sent the hotness over to Europe. So if you are enjoying the summer heat, but you're not enjoying what it's doing to your skin, I may have a solution for you. CTFO, known for its high-quality CBD oil hemp products. CTFO stands for Change the Future Outcome. Of course, this is changing the future outcome of your skin, your life, and, well, maybe your pocketbook if you decide to join the business for absolutely free. And the link is provided for the products and the business right in this show's description. I just wanted to let you know real quick that CTFO has a brand new full spectrum CBD oil, hemp oil infused SPF 30 sunscreen. So this looks amazing. This is really going to help you out with those fine lines, dark spots, and skin aging that normally would occur if you did not use any protection at all. As you know, CBD oil does help against free radicals. It helps get rid of wrinkles. It reverses skin conditions such as ruddiness, breakouts, and also inflammation in the skin. So this is a gentle, sheer formula enriched with antioxidants, and it protects all skin types as well as being water resistant. We also have a new After Sun skincare cream filled with vitamin D, and as you know, your skin would love to absorb the vitamin D, not just from the sun, but also from the cream after you're out of the sun. Remember, we talked about a couple weeks ago how vitamin D can help you absorb things like magnesium, potassium, vitamin C, and it goes down to the bone and it makes you so healthy. Vitamin D is excellent. And here it's this cream, this After Sun skincare cream has loads of vitamin D. So if you want to check it out, yeah, if you don't want to, that's cool. If you want to check it out, there is a link in the show's description. Just wanted to let you guys know.